big-ass tower out in Bithlow that just collapsed. And there were people working on it. They didn't send me to it because I was stationed someplace else, but I heard that guys were walking through the field. Oh, here's a utility bill. Pull it up and there's a body.
Yeah.
I mean, smash that person into the ground.
Oh, wow.
And that was a big
That's
event.
terrible.
Back then we had stainless steel revolvers.
Yeah.
And I was telling the other guy I was driving at one time I had a Pala that the siren button was a button on the floor, left side.
Yeah.
No air conditioning.
No air conditioning in Central Florida?
Yeah. And I pulled the guy over and I clocked him, and it was just above Brewer Hill on Aloma, and he said, I said, you were doing 70, and he said, no, this car won't do it 70. I said, this car does 70, and it was clocking you at 70. Gave him the ticket.
How long did you do?
I was in a couple of years, and then I just felt like I wanted to get into sales. There was a guy that lived in the apartment complex I lived at that worked for Stouffer Foods, and so here's the life. He's on the phone, he's making hotel reservations, he's making golf reservations, he's making dinner reservations. He had a company car, and I said, I want a job like that. So I went to Atlanta and ended up getting a job with Campbell Soup, and I was in the food business for 20 years.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very nice.
So obviously this is a huge deal, right?
Obviously it's changed from where it was at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So throughout our investigation, we came up with, obviously you live down in Northport?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm just going to shoot you straight out of respect for you and everything else.
Appreciate it.
There's a storage unit down there.
Yeah, I have a storage unit.
You have a storage unit. Is that your son's storage unit,
No,
or is
it's
that
mine.
that's your storage unit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he have access to it?
No, I have the keys.
Okay. Were you aware that, did your son come visit you on Monday morning?
This Monday?
Yeah.
No, he
the day
left
she
Sunday.
disappeared. Okay.
He left Sunday,
No, go ahead, Evan. Yeah.
So, what time did you get here last night?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. When you got here, where did you meet your son and Jennifer?
We apparently pulled up at the same time at the hotel.
Perfect. Okay. When you guys got there, what did you guys end up doing?
We checked into the rooms. They had 239. I had 203. Opposite ends of the building. I brought my stuff up, went over and said goodnight, and then hit the sack.
After you guys went to your separate ways, when's the next time you talked to Stephan?
I got up at 6:30, 3 hours sleep, and went to the office because I figured he would be sleeping in, crashed and burned, and didn't speak to Jen until 10:45-ish, and she called and asked if Stephan was with me, and I said no. Why? Well, he's not here. Oh, we'll go down to the lobby and see if he's down there. How long has he been gone? 25 minutes. Okay. I said, go check the lobby. And then I started to think about it, called her back, and I said, do you have the keys? No, I don't have the keys. So then she said, well, they just called and they're going to be out here within the hour. I said, oh, shit. So I drove out there. So it's probably out to the hotel because I was at my office.
Oh, okay.
Over off of Westwood. And I just grabbed my stuff and said, I'm going to go out there in case you guys showed up. I wanted to be there. So he hadn't showed up by the time I got there, and about 30 minutes later, he finally showed up, and I read him the fucking riot act.
Did he tell you where he was?
Well, he had an energy drink in his hand. He said he got lost. And, on the back roads. Hell, I got lost, and I had a GPS. And I said, no, this isn't the right exit. I had to do a U-turn. So I always get messed up over there.
Okay, so like my partner said, we're not here to waste your time. You've been in this line of work before. Did he tell you he was in Northport today? I'm assuming he didn't, based on your reaction. So, do you need to take a seat? Or?
No,
Okay.
he was in Northport.
Yes. What's the exit you take to get off at your house?
I'm going to 179.
Okay, do you know the street?
Toledo Way.
Okay. So we have more than enough reason to believe that Stephan was in Northport today at the exit that you take to get to your house. Our concern is we're conducting a missing person investigation.
Yes.
Given the proximity of that exit to your home, what we're trying to find out is if she's just hanging out in your house, you just want to get her somewhere safe. We want to put eyes on her, make sure she's okay.
She's not at our house because my wife, well, here's something strange.
Is anybody at your house now?
Yes, hang on a second. We raise standard poodles.
Say it again. You raised
We
what?
raise standard poodles.
Oh, okay. Poodle.
And they all, except they went on full fucking alert.
House
Yes.
throughout this period of time.
At what time you think
That's
that
what
was?
I thought.
Okay. Okay.
What time did the dogs go full alert last night?
I'll grab your water.
Okay, all right, thanks. 3:19.
3:19 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys have like ring cameras, any kind of security cameras on the property?
So we locked the door, and I don't. And the door has a keypad, but when I left last night, it wasn't flashing. And that keypad, the battery's been in that thing for 4 years. So I called last night and I said, hey, that keypad doesn't seem to be working. It's not working right. So if you go out the garage, or you need to come back in through the garage with the remote control. But she said the dogs went full alert at 3:19. We were at the hotel at 3 o'clock, so there's no way he could have been in Northport.
How big is your property down there?
Quarter acre.
Okay. So we've been in communication with some law enforcement down there, trying to work in some leads. Would it be all right if we send someone to go talk to your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll coordinate that. So she's home now.
Right?
Yeah. So we're working a missing person investigation currently.
Well, let me give her a heads up because it's going to be noisy.
Okay.
We got 5 standard poodles.
How is your property out there? Is it like a neighborhood? Do you guys have?
No, it's on scattered lines.
Okay.
Standard laws.
Yeah.
So no
Is it
woods
gated?
or-
What?
Is it gated?
No, it's on scattered lines. It's just, no. Our backyard's gated. They're going to come over and want to search a house for, apparently, can I tell her?
Yeah.
Apparently, Stephan made a trip down to Northport last night. Or this morning, I should say. I have no idea. But there's a storage unit, but he wouldn't have access to the keys to the storage unit because I have the only key to it. And that would have been locked in my car, and he would have had to come in my room, which he didn't have a key to get into. He doesn't have a key. He took Jen's key. Storage room. It's in my console.
Can she check and make sure the key's there?
What? Well, is the key in the basket? We'll go look at the key in the basket.
The key in the console is in this car that you're driving now?
Hang on a second. What?
You said the key in the console is in this
My car? Yeah, it's only one key.
This car out here?
Yeah. Do I need to go look?
Yeah, let's go see if it's in there.
Yes, she can look for the key in the house. We can look for the key in the car.
We were wondering if he had a console. And they bleed in the back seat or whatever procedure they have. So that's it. Hello, sailor. Watch out, sailor.
Oh, there's a poodle with you.
No, it's a.
Oh, no, that's like a...
It's my sister. She don't. Yeah, right there.
And that's the only key you
That's the
have
only
to
key.
the storage unit?
Yeah. There's supposed to be 2 keys, but I haven't seen that key.
Is his name on the storage unit at all?
No, it's not.
Like he can't show up and say, hey, I lost my key. Can you
No.
give me access to...
No.
in theory, right? Here's your waters.
Oh, thanks.
So other than the storage unit in your house, could you see any reason for Stephan to go down to where you live?
No.
Does he have friends down there, other family members?
No other family members. He's got some friends or acquaintances that he plays whatever war games or stuff.
Like computer games or?
No, it's a board game.
He plays like card games and action figures.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
he's painted all these caricatures and what have you. He's gotten, some awards or recognitions for the work that he's done with these characters. But what time did you catch him on the camera down there?
He knows exactly what it is. He's on the phone, so I don't want to misspeak. But it was clearly when you were unaware that he was down there.
So I went to bed.
How long did it take you to get from Orlando to there?
Well, with no traffic out last night, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But if you're dealing with traffic early this morning, you're going to be looking at close to 3.
Yeah.
Because the traffic on I-4 getting out of here, and then you catch up to 75, and then you catch up to Bradenton, and
What ways can you go? So
you can go through the center of the state.
is that the turnpike?
No, the center of the state would be where the technical college is on I-4.
Okay.
You hit there, and then you go down like 27 or 17 or something. But you go down the center of the state and avoid all that bullshit.
27 to what?
I'd have to look it up on
70
the
or
map because
something?
I don't pay attention. I just follow the GPS.
Okay.
But you're going down really the middle of the state, and you dump out at Arcadia, and then you head towards 75, Kings Highway, and then you go up north to Toledo.
Okay. It's like speaking German when you're not
I
from
know.
there.
Hey, listen, I grew up here.
Yeah.
Went to Winter Park High. And
What brings you down to Northport?
Well, we build homes in 6 cities. I'm the broker for the company.
Okay.
We started in Poinciana and No Habla Español. So I was actually going to go to Palm Coast, and then I went over to look at some homes that we were building in Northport and said, oh, this is beautiful. I love it. It's rural.
Yeah.
And I said, and I expected it to mirror our experience in Palm Coast, but we had a bit of a rocky start. Right now I got 100 homes that are going to be completed, and the market's changed, and I'd love to be able to sell them right away. But I went down there because I thought it was a better area. The whole Southwest is a great area.
It's a booming area.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, Northport was rated the 2nd fastest growing city last year.
Just got to get these Yankees to come down and buy some homes.
Well,
right?
everybody's stuck in their homes.
Yeah.
They love those 2 and 3% interest rates, which
Yeah.
will never go away.
No.
And they'll never repeat.
They'd be foolish to get rid of those.
Yeah. Well, the Northerners coming down here will, because they want to get the hell out of the North.
So when you read your son the Riot Act, what do you mean by that?
I said, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I said, if they came here and you weren't here, they would immediately put a bolo out and find you and arrest your ass and just haul you off to jail. Is that what you want? Well, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm just so fed up with him at this point.
Yeah.
And obviously there's something here because I've been here almost 6 hours. So, they've been here 6 hours. So something's going on. Look, he spent a lifetime lying to us.
Okay.
And it's just never gotten better. And he fed me some bullshit the other day. And before I left the house the other night, I turned to my wife and I said, do we really know Stephan? Can we honestly say we really know him?
Yeah.
And she got really kind of defensive a little bit. I said, I'm not saying that he did something, but can we honestly say we really know him?
So the other day.
Well, when I left yesterday, when I left last night, I said, hey, I turned to her, I said, do we really know him? Is he capable of doing something harmful to her?
Why would you suspect that?
Because some inconsistencies of phone calls he had with me didn't add up, okay? So I'll give you the sequence. He calls me mid-afternoon, 3-ish, maybe 3:45 or something, and say, I just had a flat tire. Okay, how the fuck did you get a flat tire? You just drove over to Kissimmee. You took her, maybe you're running an errand, but where would you have gone to get a flat tire? The tire was so flat, he drove on it and ran the is that Jen?
Yeah, we were finishing up.
He ran the rubber right off the wheel.
Yeah.
So he had to travel a good distance to do that. And then he pulled into a shopping center, and I said, was the donut in there? Yeah, swapped it out and almost crushed my thumb. I said, okay.
Do you know what shopping center he changed the tire?
No.
Or where he picked up the flat or anything?
I have no idea. So
This
then,
was Monday, just to confirm.
yeah, Monday afternoon. Do we want to talk someplace else?
We can, yeah. You
Yeah.
want to put Jen in the truck? Jen, do you mind
Watch
sitting in
the
the
dog,
truck for a little bit while we finish talking to...
In the trunk?
Yeah, that's fine. Or wherever you're comfortable. You can sit in the Lincoln or whatever you guys...
How long are we going to be?
A few more minutes? Yeah.
And we're done. Could be wrong.
It's been a while
I'll
already,
hang
and I
out with the dog.
apologize.
That's fine.
All right, take them out. So, then around 5 o'clock, I get this call, and he's telling me about, well, there's been an incident, and that then he tells me that he dropped her off. And I said, well, tell me what you mean by that. And he said, well, I dropped her off. She doesn't want to be seen being dropped at school because you're not driving a cool enough car. Oh, okay, so you're not driving a Lamborghini, you can't drop her off at Swift School. Okay, dropped her up the block off. He said he watched her through the rearview mirror, walked towards school, and then he left. And I said, okay. And so now you're finding out when you went to pick her up that she wasn't there. And everybody's just discovering this at the end of the day. How many hours later? Okay. So then, trying to think when I had the conversation about his phone. So I said, okay, well, they're going to want to know where your whereabouts were because you're the last person that saw her, so they're going to want to know. I said, did you have your phone with you? No. Why would you have your phone? I just forgot it. Forgot mine. I said, beautiful. So then he tells me that he did an OS update. Now, I'm a techie guy. And I said, okay. And he said, wipe the phone out. Really? How does that happen? It's an OS update. It's automatic. You say yes, and that's it. It updates, and then it reboots. It doesn't reset. It reboots. Well, I was multitasking, and I hit a wrong button, and it reset. And I questioned him that. And I said, so there's some inconsistencies there. So why would that phone be wiped out? And I asked him last night, when you guys wanted the phone, I said, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to give them the phone? No, I don't think so. I said, okay, give them the phone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there something on the phone?
Has he ever suffered from like mental illness or anything?
From what?
Mental illness?
Me?
No, not him.
Him.
Your
Oh,
son.
okay. When he was 8, he and a friend were playing in a parking area, and a guy came out and got in his Toyota pickup truck, said hello to the kids, and then backed up over them. And they both were run over, but he got hit in the head with the bumper, and he had a slight tick. He had separation anxiety, so he slept with us for a while, and finally I said, no, you got to go to your own bed and get over that. He would go over to a neighbor's home and spend the night and show up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning wanting to come home. But as far as
nothing diagnosed or medication?
well, he's been seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist or something. Okay. He's been on anxiety meds, depression or what have you. I have no idea what they're talking about because obviously he doesn't share that with me. But he's battled a number of things: depression, anxiety, and what have you.
As a child or as an adult?
Maybe ADD as a child, but as an adult, more severe.
Okay.
He suffers from sleep apnea.
Was he able to complete school no problem?
Well, depends on who completed it. My mother and his mother. Okay. We did online schooling, and she ended up doing most of the work for him.
Did he ever go to college?
No.
What did he do for work?
I've had him work with me in a variety of ways. When we were here in Orlando from 2010 to 2013, I did these, what they call BPOs. They're kind of like appraisals. I did 15,000 of them and had him and his friends go out and take these photos. And it was always a challenge to get his ass out out of bed and go to work. No motivation. The more you do, the more you make.
Yeah.
No motivation there. So and after that, that work went away. I got involved in various projects around the state of Florida. He really didn't do much. He worked at Quiznos for a while. That didn't last long until he wrecked his car. So he's been living with us and me trying to get him out of the house to go work. We came down to Northport. He stayed there with Jen. So while we were down there until December of last year, he lived with Jen. And then I was supporting him in Orlando, and I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. You got to come back.
Yeah.
And I was trying to create an opportunity for him down there, but that didn't materialize. Then I'm trying to get his ass out to get a job at Lowe's or Home Depot or something.
Time-wise, it's sometimes like 7:45. She was down there.
7:45 this morning?
So, did you tell your wife that Northport meeting's on the way? Did you speak to her already?
I will let her know that we got sidetracked on something. They're coming there to see if she's hiding in the house?
Yeah, so what we'd like to do is, given that he went down there, we'd like to make sure like he didn't stash her in a bedroom and hey, just hang out here.
No, she's been sorting out his bedroom because he lives like a fucking pig.
And you said you guys have a Ring camera, right?
Well, I was about to tell you that. I switched. Hey, Northport Police is going to stop by to do a wellness check type of thing. They're going to see if somehow house.
Back around the house yelling her name. And just, that motherfucker, you know what? You know what stopped him from getting in the house? He didn't have a garage door opener. The front door lock is not working well.
Yep.
And I had put the lock on the slider.
Okay.
He couldn't get in.
All right. So I'm with the detectives, and they're sending Northport Police over to do a check to make sure that she isn't there. Okay. So you may want to alert the dogs. They're really
lock them up.
friendly.
I've got their food. I'm fixing to feed them.
Okay.
Just tell them it'll get noisy, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go.
They're good guys. I've been laying line with them.
Yeah.
If there are any issues, give me a call.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
And as far as outside of your house, what does the layout of your yard look like?
Well, there's a house to the right of me, and to the left of it is woods, and there's woods across the street that fronts I-75. At 7:45, it would have been well lit. There would be small amount of traffic going up and down our street because they're constructing homes nearby, and so there's always people doing that.
So this is no HOAs, I'm assuming?
No,
this
sir.
is kind of-
No, it's all scattered
When
lots.
you say woods, you mean like woods, or like a thicket?
Wood. Yes.
What's your address?
With a satellite view, you'll see there's wooded lots all around. So next to me, there's a new house, and he's a renter. There's my house, and then to the left, there is wooded lot. There's a lot of wooded lots before my house, and then you run into one or two houses.
So going back to the cameras, you were going to say something.
Okay, so I ditched Comcast, and
Okay.
I had the Sky Bell hooked up to Comcast.
Okay.
And I realized when I kept seeing this orange light, I said, shit, I got to move this over. It's a pain in the ass. Move it over to the Frontier Communications versus Comcast. So I've got to reconnect it with the internet.
So the cameras weren't working for the last
No,
week?
because we
Okay.
discontinued the service. Matter of fact, the modem's sitting on my office floor.
Okay. All right. Do you think your son's capable of doing something like this? I know it's a hard question as a father. But
I wasn't a hero and a welcome comment. I said, how well do we know him?
Yeah.
And nothing would surprise me at this point. I don't know.
Is your wife his mom?
Yes, we are biological parents. Yeah. I'm going to say anything's possible.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, there would have to be some ulterior motive for
Sure.
some reason.
Sure.
Was there a motive?
Well, we don't know. We're trying to find her. We still think she's
Yeah.
alive. So
Well, this press conference indicated that she had some comments on social media about I want to live in the woods.
Yeah.
Was that accurate or?
that was.
Well,
We're not going to put anything inaccurate out there. That
Yeah.
just tarnishes the
I asked
validity of the
I asked Jen
investigation.
about that. She said, "Yeah, we had a conversation about a third World War. Where would you live? You know, the Palestine-Israeli situation. That's what I said.
So
Okay,
that was more of a fictitious. If doomsday happens,
Yeah.
sweetheart, where are you going to
Yeah.
live? Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll go live in the woods. I said, I don't. Is she going to live in the woods now by herself? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, my idea of roughing it is Howard Johnson's without a pool.
What is?
No kidding.
Do you know the unit number for your storage unit?
Yeah.
Because obviously you see the scope of what we're doing. At some point, we may want to get that storage unit as well.
I was there a couple of weeks ago pulling out some tax boxes. There's not that much room in there. I mean, you could stash a body if you wanted to, if that's the case. But like I said, as far as I know, I have the only key. I don't know if there were 2 keys issued, and I haven't seen the other key for well over a year. So,
Is there a chance that he has that key?
yeah, I would say
There's always a chance,
there
right?
could be a chance because he's stolen from us,
Okay.
and why he would want it is beyond me, because all his stuff is that he has, guitar or what have you, is stuck in the very back, and he didn't want that. But I've ended up trying to clean out our garage, and I stuck all the other stuff there, and he wouldn't like that. Nor would I think he would spend the time to pull shit out of there to get it.
What did he think about?
My impression is that he loves the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And he was very upset Monday when he was talking to me. He was sobbing and blaming himself for her disappearance, and he was just. I could tell he was just going to be an emotional wreck.
Yeah. Did he ever have? Did he discipline her? How long were?
It's hearsay. He may have yelled at her because the Jen and Jen would tell me this. The Jen.
Did you ever have extensive, maybe during the holidays or whatever, where you were with the whole family?
They came down at Thanksgiving or Christmas. My wife and the dogs.
Slept with who?
My wife and the dogs.
And the dogs.
Yeah.
And during those times, was their relationship seemingly normal?
Yeah. I mean, they secluded themselves in Stephan's room, the 3 of them.
And then Jen. Okay.
And they would spend the bulk of their time there and play with the dogs. They would bring Sailor with them.
Okay.
And would go into the bedroom and maybe read a book or watch a movie together, hang out. But
Okay. And nothing, you were a cop for years. Nothing you noticed that would be alarming?
I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So then just going back to the storage unit, obviously they're going to go to the house and check in the near future. Do you have any issues with us checking out your storage?
Your code was used this morning to access the property, the storage property. Your keypad code.
Yeah.
I have Northport PD in front of your storage unit. I know we're in a kind of a weird situation. Are you all right if they end up breaking the lock to get in there to make sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Alex, I don't
He just asked. I just heard it. He just asked Mr. Sterns if he was okay with us breaking the
Oh,
lock.
yeah, you access the keypad.
We told him we were here.
How did they know you access? We're working with management down there.
He said yes. Are you okay with that?
And this is
Just make
statewide
sure you guys
news.
do your
This is
waiver
huge
first
news.
for it.
Yep.
So a lot of people are going above and beyond
Okay.
helping us.
Let me fill that.
I didn't even know he had the key.
Okay.
I don't know how he would have gotten the keypad.
It's interesting. What's your code?
Let's go get some tickets.
Sure. What do you want to do?
They want the waivers signed before they break down the door.
Like consent to search.
So, yeah, they want a consent signature. So,
Yeah.
we
Do you
wanna
mind?
get
Do you
it-
mind?
Will they
doing-
take a wet signature or an e-signature?
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think you paid, your code was entered to enter the property this morning
And
at
what time was that at?
9.
9.
So 9.
And your wife, by chance, wouldn't have went to the storage room?
She wouldn't even know where it is.
And Jen was with you this whole time, right? So
Well, wait. When I don't know where Jen was until she called me at 11,
okay,
Jen-
at 11.
and she said, "Hey, Stephan's not here. Is he with you?"
Okay.
So then he made up this story of getting lost and whatever. So there we go.
We can probably go upstairs.
Was that?
We can go upstairs.
Yeah.
We'll take these elevators right here.
Well, I've already put my steps in. Just walking. Yeah, I think I was like 8,900. I said, well, if I keep walking, I'll hit my 10,000 steps for the day.
Was this the sheriff's office? There's no way this was the sheriff's office. When you
No,
worked here.
no, it was just opening up.
Down on 33rd is where you guys were at it?
Yeah.
Who was the sheriff?
Mel Coleman.
No. Okay. I think we probably got his picture on the wall. up
You'll
there.
have to Google it.
I would. Well, we have his pictures. We have shrines of past
Yeah.
sheriffs all over. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
see him.
He was a good guy. He was kind of, I guess, revolutionary back then, young guy and what have you.
Yeah.
But, what was the pay back then? I think I was making $800 a month. Tell me about it.
Yeah, but back then that was a good job, right?
Well, it was fun. I tell you what, once you get it into your blood, you never let it go. So I was moving with Campbell Soup from Jacksonville to Orlando.
Am I going to be able to get back to her?
I'll go there. Yeah.
And I'm taking this truck back Sunday evening, and I've got to be at the office in Jacksonville to take somebody on a ride along
Yeah.
Monday morning.
Hey, Evan, we'll just hang out here because he doesn't have a proxy. Okay.
So I pull up 436, 1792 in Castleberry. Was a green pickup truck. I'm driving this stupid Pepsi rental truck. And as I'm approaching the intersection, this guy is weaving. And so we pull through the intersection, and this guy's weaving, and then I notice up ahead the guy's riding his bicycle, and this guy pulls over, and it's fuck, he's going to hit this guy.
Oh no.
He hit him, sent him flying. I went running up to I drove up to him, and he pulled into the ABC liquor lot for whatever reason, and turned around and looked at me and said, "Thank you very much. I got your face. I've got your license plate. I got on the payphone," because that's what you did back then, and called out of my police department and said, told him what happened. I said, "I think he's going to be heading eastbound on I-4." They came up.
Hey, Evan, is that remote right there? Can we turn this thing off? Yeah.
And so, Alamo PD came up, took the report, as I'm talking to him, again, a radio alert, because they got the guy. Now they want me to identify it. I did the report. I didn't get out of there until midnight. And I get outside of Jacksonville, not far from my exit, and the car stops.
Yeah.
I'm now stuck on 95 at 3 a.m. I've got to be at the office at 7 a.m. And these sailors coming back picked me up and took me to my apartment. And I said, "Thank you, Lord, appreciate that."
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a long day, to say the least.
So are you guys still residing in Orlando part time? You mentioned something off of Westwood.
Well, that's where our corporate office is.
That's where your corporate office
And
is.
so
Okay.
when I got up this morning, I went over there to meet up with everybody
Yeah.
and then kill some time because I'm just a type A personality. I'm
Sure.
just not going to sit around
Sure.
waiting for whatever.
So sitting in a parking lot had to kill you.
It did. So
Oh.
anyway, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow he stole the key out of my car, because
Okay.
I put all the keys there.
Okay.
So I had.
Does he have access to your car?
He would.
He would.
Because I would keep the keys on my desk. He could easily go in there.
And he was saying this.
And when was the last time he was at your house in Northport? Was it over the weekend for her birthday?
Did they see him?
So I moved him back down from Kissimmee in December
Okay.
to try to get him started on another career opportunity.
Okay.
Didn't materialize. So trying to work on some other things. So he visited them. He lied to me about this. He visited them maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Hey,
Visited who? I'm sorry.
Jen.
Okay.
And I'm going to Frank's house, and I need a little extra cash. Okay, when are you going to be back? I'll be back later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I get an alert that toll booth charge. On E-Pass, I get an alert. I go, motherfucker. Call him up and said, how's Kissimmee?
Yeah.
You know, so he lied to me about what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was in Orlando until 3 o'clock, maybe Sunday, and then he left because I told him
That's what I told him.
he had to take care of his room, clean the mess out of there before he could go.
Yeah.
So he did that, and he got up there at 6:30 or something.
So I just was kind of overhearing their conversation. Would it be safe to say and accurate that your son had no rights to this this storage unit at all?
If he asked my permission, I would allow it.
Did he ever ask you permission?
No.
Okay.
And again, like I said, I've been missing this key for
Yeah.
how long have I had this? Maybe I've had this key for maybe 18 months.
Okay. So was he staying with you kind of in Northport?
Yeah.
Up until now.
I moved him back in December because I
Okay.
couldn't afford to.
Okay, so from December to today, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Where was he staying up here with Jen?
Yeah.
Okay. I just realized we just let Jen downstairs. She had the key to your truck?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we won't be too long. Just it's dark out. Okay. All right. So he stays down there, and how often does he come up here to visit Jen and Maddie?
I think since he left in December, this would be the second, maybe third trip, but second, maybe third.
Yeah. Okay. So in December, it's February, almost March, second of May. So maybe once a month. Would that be fair?
He actually went in December for Christmas time, now that I think about it, because he was not included in the family outing, but he was there. So then he made this faux trip there, and then he made this, so 3 times. He's
Okay.
been there 3 times.
Okay. And she stays at that apartment in Kissimmee. Has she been staying there?
And he rented, and they, which I ended up having to pay.
Renting a room within the same apartment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Jen's father rents the rooms out.
And does Jen's father live there? Or does he
No.
lease the apartment and then sublease the rooms inside?
Well, he owns the townhouse and he rents out the rooms and charges his daughter rent.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I came into this towards the tail end of the investigation. For some reason, I thought he was living in that apartment like today.
No.
But okay.
No, he was just visiting.
All right. You guys going back home tonight?
No, I booked the room for tonight.
Okay.
Go back tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
I didn't know what was going to happen today, so I booked the room for the second night.
Okay. Well, I don't know what they're
You know
doing.
what really gets me?
Okay.
When I left him at 3 o'clock, you know, you could see that he was physically exhausted and worn out. Matter of fact, I heard a comment when I was talking to them that he was fallen asleep in the car on the way to the hotel. So I figured he'd get in bed, crash and burn, and that would be it. It's pretty ballsy to assume that Jen would sleep through the entire night and not wake up and find he wasn't there.
I don't disagree with you.
Because 10:45 she calls and said, "Is Stephan with you?" And I go, "No."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, he hasn't been here for 25 minutes."
And that's probably, I'm assuming, like she woke up, it's been 25 minutes, and he hadn't shown up.
Yeah, expecting him to return, and he never returned.
Yeah.
And then he showed up maybe towards 11:30. Yeah, maybe it was like 11:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this really, 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 really blows my mind. Obviously, something. I'm afraid to even say it, think it.
And what's that?
There's just too many inconsistencies here, and his behavior is indicating something else is going on here. You know, why would he spend nearly 6 hours driving round trip to go to Northport to the storage unit?
Well,
I mean,
hopefully
is
we
there
may
a
be able to figure
possibility
that
the
out.
body was in Jen's car?
We're trying to figure it
Have you asked him?
out.
Jen Soto.
Yeah, we talked to him. So,
Hey, I'm inside the building.
let me check on them. Don't wander off too much.
What's that?
Pausing the recording at 10:15. It's a surreptitious recording with Mr. Sterns. My name's Corporal Richards. Also 10:12 with me was Corporal Evan Avila and Kissimmee Detective. Resuming the interview with Mr. Sterns. Still there?
Mr. Sterns.
No, go ahead.
So we were initially going to go ahead and use the consent, but we're going to kind of slow down on that aspect. We want to make sure we're doing this all the right way
Understood.
to do what's best for her and to make sure that we're above board on everything. So while we greatly appreciate your cooperation, we're not going to force entry in there right now. Does your wife ever go to the storage unit?
Does she what?
Ever go to the storage unit?
No. No, she's never been to that storage unit.
How does he know the code to your code to the storage unit?
He
Is
must
it
have-
written down somewhere?
No. So I was thinking about that earlier. So there's another incident here. So I get a call from the storage unit 2 or 3 weeks ago telling me that they were running an audit of the units because there was going to be an inspection or something, and my unit wasn't properly locked. So
Okay.
the way it works is that you've got this slide mechanism, unlock it and then unbolt it from the hinge, and then you have to push it back and secure it in one of the 2 holes. And they said it wasn't properly locked, and they had flagged it, and I needed to get over there and fix it. So I went over there, opened it up, looked at it, everything's fine, and then locked it properly. And I'm going to say maybe there's a 50-50 chance I did that, but I'm pretty anal about it. And so I don't know.
A 50-50 chance you did what? What do you mean?
Pardon?
A 50-50 chance you did what?
I may not have locked it properly, or maybe now that I'm aware that he possibly had a key to it, that he went into the unit.
Okay.
But nothing out of the ordinary.
Has he ever gone to the unit to help you with something and you gave
Oh, he's
him
helped me load it up, yeah.
Okay. So he could have the
Well,
code
no,
for that.
Maybe he observed me punching in the code,
Okay.
which is pretty devious on his part.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
How long did it take you to get up here last night?
pretty good time.
When you say pretty good time,
There's no traffic.
So we'll,
None on 75 and nothing on, so I think I got up here, I'm definitely under 3 hours, but I would say at least 2.5 hours. Trying to figure out where we were going to stay because had no idea. So we found a place out there off of Western Parkway. So I think I left around midnight and got up here 2:45-ish.
All right. Well,
I can pinpoint it exactly just by looking at what time I called.
that's all right. That was kind of just
just a ballpark because we don't go down to Northport at all. Well, so we've been all very straightforward with each other. You've inferred several times that you suspect there's more going on.
Mm-hmm.
We did do a release. Your son has been arrested for sexual battery.
What?
Your son was arrested for sexual battery. Essentially rape. Okay. And that's where we're at with this investigation right now.
Obviously it wasn't Jen, but
so it's still active, so we won't get into who the
Yeah.
victim is. But I mean, you've done this job before. I think you can reasonably infer where we're at.
yeah.
So that's kind of why things are going to slow down a little bit.
I understand.
We're
Slow the
gonna
pace down.
we're slowing the pace down just a little bit. In that regard, not necessarily in the regard of trying. Okay, so we're going to be, executing a search warrant down there at the storage unit. There's no reason to break the lock. We're just going to go take a look.
So you need me there with the key to let you in?
Not necessarily. They'll coordinate that, and we'll coordinate with the storage unit and get that done. So that's kind of where we're at, and I'm pretty sure Jen already knew that happened. So
Jen do what?
Jen does know, correct?
Yes. So
Jen knows that he's been arrested. Jen doesn't know anything about the incident itself.
She's a little more informed, given that she direct involvement. Whether she chooses to share that with you or not.
Yeah, we're protected under law of disclosing victims' information. But we've had a long conversation, and all that.
Question for you before you go, because I don't know if the Kissimmee officer has your contact information, just so I can relay it. What is your phone number, Mr. Sterns? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand that to the lead detectives on the case.
So you say Kissimmee, so it's not.
Initially, we believed this was going to be a sheriff's office case, and at this point, it's not looking like it's going to be a sheriff. It's going to be a Kissimmee case. Now we are heavily involved, which is why we're all here.
Well, you got two issues you're dealing with here.
What's that?
You got the missing person that's in your jurisdiction, and then I guess the Kissimmee's handling the other issue.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we're going to continue to remain involved, and that's the semantics of it, of who's investigating. But that's why we're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office today and not the Kissimmee Police Department.
So will he be transported to Kissimmee or stay here?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. So initially, he'll be at Orange County, and then eventually he'll go to Osceola.
Is there multiple counts?
Right now, there's only one count,
Okay.
but the investigation's still unfolding, so there could be more.
I don't anticipate him getting out anytime soon. So,
No.
what I would ask is that you remain available. I mean, you've been
Because we're still trying to.
Yeah, I think you understand the gravity of what we're doing. Our first priority, and that's why we've tried to elicit this cooperation from you. Understand there probably going to be some cops at your house down there, some cops at the storage unit. We just ask that you're available for us.
So will I be interacting with Northport PD? Or?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of our guys is going to get a bag, and he's going to drive down there and try to get this all facilitated within the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And Northport, I believe they were going to go talk to your wife and just make sure.
Yeah, I think that was
obviously.
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they were there when I was talking to her. So.
All right.
What, when you say available, you need me here or just
No, I mean
accessible?
Accessible.
Oh,
Be
accessible.
available by phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We, as far as I know, we don't need you here for anything in Orange County. Obviously, I'm sure Jennifer needs you here, but that's up to you how you want to handle that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has family locally, but
Jennifer has family locally, you know, so we're trying to, I got to get her back to her car.
Right.
And is she free to go back to the townhouse?
I'm not sure if we're
here
still
shortly. She's not going to have
processing
a car.
that. Her car is the white Nissan.
Nissan. We have that car.
Yeah, we have that
Oh,
car.
now she doesn't have a car, so where's she supposed to spend the night?
Without sounding callous, ideally we'd like to the plan is to release her home back to her. We don't believe we need access to the home right now. I'll get you a definitive answer here shortly.
So she can go back home tonight.
Hopefully.
I'll get you an answer for that here shortly.
Hopefully.
What about the Lincoln that you impounded? What's the status of that?
That's still being processed.
Okay. I just want to give you fair warning that it's the poodle ambulance.
It's the poodle ambulance.
Because we
Okay.
put the dogs in there for when they're coming in season, or they just had a litter of pups, so sometimes they get puke or blood smeared on the seats, and even though you try to clean it up, I said I don't want somebody to get too excited and all of a sudden you pick up, you know.
That
No,
makes-
we've
that
got
makes-
experts on the
that
case.
makes a lot of
though.
sense.
It's animal
Okay.
blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The,
Well, before
can you buzz
well,
me in real quick?
what's that?
Can you buzz me in real quick? I'm going to get an answer about the house.
The poodle ambulance. Oh, thank you.
You know, you put these pads down and they still manage to like their rear ends.
Well, of
on
course, of
the leather
course.
seats, and you go, oh,
They're like kids, you know.
Yeah.
They just poop and pee and
yeah.
vomit all over the place when you're least suspecting. So,
Well, this has certainly been a change, 24 hours of change. I don't know whether to say I'm flabbergasted or impressed at Stephan's endeavors.
well,
He was, as far as I knew, he was going to pass out at 3 a.m.
yeah.
It didn't take me long to crash and burn, and then to find out that he made this round trip to Northport.
Well, I can't imagine what's going through your head right now, and I do sympathize for you and your family. And
I'm pissed that he's done this to us, done this to himself, done this to us and somebody else.
it's not an unreasonable thought, not unreasonable at all.
I had no idea of the issue and what he may be capable of doing here, and it's just like it's a revelation.
Yeah.
I've always told him to respect law enforcement and respect the law, but it appears that he's decided to live a different lifestyle. I mean, one time he got pulled over by the highway patrol. I could hear him yelling at the highway patrol. And,
Right.
Don't do that. I said, they'll haul your butt up from Winter Garden to Mount Dora, and that's a long way to go. And I said, you don't want to upset the guy. The guy was very, very professional. Apparently he was driving on maybe a registration issue or something, so I had to go up and get him because they wouldn't let him drive the car. But, you know, it's like the old saying, you don't fool with the IRS on the Lone Ranger, and you don't fuck with the highway patrol. So they're not nice guys. They can be, but they're nice guys.
Oh, they're
Not
cranky,
nice guys.
you know. They're traffic guys. They're cranky.
Give me a ticket. You know?
Yeah.
I've got plenty of warning tickets from them, so I feel
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
blessed.
Knock on wood, right?
yeah. But okay. So what? You guys are going to arrange to get access to the storage unit.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't need to be involved.
Yeah, we'll take care of that. Truly, you know, my thought right now is if you're available for your family, available for, you know, that kind of thing right now, and get some sleep, however hard that may be, and then we'll let you know what needs may arise, if any. So we're trying to facilitate all this, least amount of, this is going to sound, intrusion in your life. So go ahead.
Yeah. What do you mean the bright home? The model home? The model home? 13. No, Luis has been there today, so no. Yeah. Yeah, he's been there all day. And he would have been there very early in the morning, or Luis would have been there around 10 o'clock, and there, he would have noticed that. Okay? Right. Everybody go. Right.
In speaking to our Kissimmee Police Department counterparts, they are not prepared to release the town hall back to her.
Oh.
So I don't have a timeline for that. I imagine they're in communication with her. She may already know that, but they are not releasing the apartment tonight.
Is she still out in the car?
She should be.
She should be.
Yeah.
Oh, she called me earlier and said she's frightened to be out there.
Well, I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, we're good to walk downstairs. This was just
Yeah.
kind of a debriefing.
So I'm going to the office tomorrow and spend some time there. Do you need to get together with me anytime tomorrow before I leave town and head back?
If we do, we'll contact you. If you're back in Northport, that's not an issue. We're going to have one of our detectives down there. If we need to liaison with you at some point, we'll make it happen.
Okay.
So,
All right.
They give us county cars and county gas, so we can drive.
and they have AC, not like back in the day.
Well, we have 480,
Whatever that means.
4 windows down, 80 miles an hour.
There you
All
go.
right. That's how you got the guy going 70 in a little one.
I had to stop and back up. Not really.
So, Mr. Sterns, we had a long, long conversation, 2 of them. Do you swear everything you told me is true?
Yeah,
Okay. Very good.
I have nothing to hide.
Very good. Well, we
You seem like a good man.
really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that your son, we're going down this path.
Well, like I said, I questioned my wife last night. I said, do we really know him? And she got pretty pissed at me. But I said,
Well, you're going to have to deal with when she looks at the news here soon. I don't know, it's
Yeah.
better to find out, for her to find out by looking at the news, or for you to tell her
well,
first?
we don't get, I mean,
Shouldn't get
I'm sure
Orlando
there'll be some
news,
news
right?
down there. And, my greatest fear is that what we can experience as far as blowback. I'm a private person, and that really, I'm not going to say it terrifies me, but it worries me that, the media frenzy and what have you, that somebody wants the angle, hey, I've got the hot story today,
I mean, and then my partner could probably speak better to it, but I mean, expect that you may have a car or two out front of your house, given, that his relationship to Northport, but,
I think your saving grace is that you're not in the Orlando market, right?
right.
You're in the Tampa market, I can only imagine. You're not. Stearns isn't the most common last name, but it's not the most rare last name.
Yeah,
And you're talking about a statewide search. They'd have to do a really good job, I think, to find you.
yeah.
I'm not saying they're not good at their job, but
Well, I mean, I'm out there in the public, you can just Google me.
yeah.
I'm going to come up because I'm in real estate. So,
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be concerned about that until there's a problem. And if they're out in front of your house, and you can always call Northport and they can advise you. But if they're ever on your property, just tell them to leave.
Yeah.
But as far as professional blowback or anything like that, it's tough for everybody to put 2 and 2 together.
Does Jen know that he made this trip this morning?
So we didn't speak to Jen. Jen
I wasn't
spoke to-
privy to those interviews,
Jen
yeah.
Jen spoke to the Kissimmee Police Department. So my understanding is she is briefed very well. But that's a conversation you guys could probably have you know, on the drive back or at some point in the near future.
I just don't see where he had the energy to do this. I mean, unless he was faking it with me at 3 a.m. this morning, I don't know where he got the effing energy. But you're telling me he was down there at 7:45 at Toledo Blade?
Yes.
I mean, 7:45, 3:45. He waited till she got up, went to sleep, and snuck out. Not long after we all said goodnight.
You can't reason. As a reasonable person, you can't understand the unreasonable. There's no way you'd be able to wrap your head around anything that he's accused of doing or that he did. There's no way that any of us would be able to, even with all of our experience in public safety, there's just no way. So.
Wow. I mean, obviously, making a move like that, there's something going on here.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get you out of here, Mr. Sterns, and you can try to get some rest. Walk you down.
Where can I throw my trash?
I'll take him down, Evan.
Okay. Wow, this has got so much hair on it now, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Jesus. What is this for?
See, these are the guys that have fallen in line of duty.
Who is this over?
They had to go back in the record books.
Winter Park.
I think so.
I saw the motorcycle down in the lobby. I guess
Yeah, that was Callan's. Yeah. He was struck by a reckless driver.
I ran into a guy that was a motorcycle cop out of California, and he did it for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Any accidents? No.
That's incredible.
I mean, how did that happen? I had a Honda 750 back in the 70s, and when some old lady ran me off a 1792 into a median, I said, that's it, I'm getting rid of this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
back then, the population was only 500. Somewhere between 5 and 6. And just can't imagine 22, 23 million people taking out a motorcycle.
Not just that, but everybody's on their phones, everybody's listening to, there's so much more distraction.
All right, so I guess I just wait to hear from you guys. What are these guys still doing? Waiting for the latest. Cultures? Thank you. All right.
Before you go, I can't leave because you guys have impounded my car and my medications are in my car. I need them.
Okay. Where are they at in the car?
Front passenger seat.
Or like they're sitting on the front passenger seat?
Yeah, I don't know if they're on the seat or on the floor, but they're inside of a plastic bag. I just need the plastic bags. It's got a rainbow clear medication, like a month-long medication box.
Okay.
Separated by days.
Okay.
I need that in order for me to do anything.
Okay.
And then there's a pill bottle in there. Just bring the whole bag of medications.
Let me go see what I can do, okay? I know it's sealed because we're processing it forensically. Is there any other way you can get a hold of this medication?
By going back to my house, but that's also sealed by forensics.
It's also sealed by forensics, yeah. Okay. Let me see what the best avenue is.
I have already,
Go ahead.
Detective Andrews has already gone in there, and I told him I need my meds. He goes, let me see what I could do. So I don't know if you guys will tag team it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll tag team. I'll let you know
Yep.
as soon as possible.
You want me to hang tight?
Well, yeah, for the medicine, real quick.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
no problem.
So give me 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5.
Yeah.
It's concluding this interview with Mr. Sterns.